All right, guys. Hello. We are going to do your name today. And we're going to swirl it around a little bit. So this project is probably going to be for our older students, not so much our little ones. This is going to take some time and this is going to take some detail. And in fact, it might take your friends a couple hours to work on it. So this might be a couple day project. I know in my classroom when I do this, it usually takes a few class periods for our friends to do. So since we have the time, we might as well work on one that's going to take us a little bit of time to do, right? Sure, why not? For this project, what I did was I used my last name to create the model that I have up here. And I broke the area down. This one is in 7 sections. And then I use different type fonts to create my last name, and then there's different patterns behind it. So we're using all different kinds of elements and principles of art inside this one. And like I said, there's a lot of different details in it. We're going to use a lot of patterns. We're going to use just all kinds of color naturally. So this one is going to be fun. It's going to take some time, and I hope it's one that you guys like. Now, if you are somebody that has a really, really long name, right now I am lucky to have 2 very short names. My first name is Kathy, and then the last name now is Mims, but I used to have quite a large last name. So if you are somebody that has one of those really, really big names, I get it. I sympathize. And of course, by all means, if you have a way to shorten your last name or someone might call you like a nickname or something, then, do that. That is not a problem. This is your work that you're creating, so you can use whatever you need to for this. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to get started with the first few steps. For this one, what I did was I did all of my line work where I have all my sections separated. That is done in a marker. And the name itself is all done in a marker, all the different fonts, so that the name stands out. That is our most important element. And the background areas are done in colored pencil because colored pencil is a little bit finer and it can get into the details. So that's what I did for that. But with all of our projects, whatever you have on hand is what you are welcome to use. We are not picky at all. So, shall we get started? Hi, beautiful. What a cute dress you got on today. I always like that dress on you. Oh, she's spinning and twirling. We're on the catwalk. Well, of course you wear shorts under dresses.
Where's my work?
Thank you, love. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to take that's my eraser. We're going to take our piece of paper and we are going to just simply put a dot somewhere in it is what I usually tell them. And then, of course, depending on how much room you think you're going to need for your name. I mean, I'm the teacher. I'm not a mind reader. Not sure what name you're going with here. Over here when I did my dot, and I didn't give myself a whole lot of room for one of my names, it wasn't a big deal for me because I have a short name. If you want to get yours right in the middle, that's up to you. But, so I'm going to do that today. I'm going to put my dot right smack dab in the center. Well, kind of in the center. I guess it's not really, but we're not measuring it. So it's not a big deal. And then what I did with my little lines, I gave them a little swirl. I tell my students if you just want to do like a straight line going off to the edge of the paper, but you do want to make sure you're connecting your dot to the edge of the paper. Don't go line crazy because every single section that you're drawing, you are going to put your name in and you're not going to be able to squeeze them into all of those sections. So you do want really nice big sections. And I'm thinking between 6 to maybe 8 lines. You don't want to go past 8 lines because then you're just getting areas and sections that are way, way, way too small for you to draw inside of and try and squeeze a name or your nickname, whatever it is you're going to draw. So when I do the little swirly sections or curve lines or whatever you want to call them. I try to keep them all parallel. And it doesn't matter if they're a little dark. So I got one there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and mimic it in each section right off the dot. Of course, the lighter you do draw, the easier it is to erase. Yeah, one section is really big, but we're going to go with it. And when I do my marker, I can erase any line that I don't want showing. I'll try and tell my students to kind of wait till the end, but here am I, just erasing. And you're ready to start doing your name. I try to get them to do a different type font in each section. And what I have prepared for all my kids is I have color-coded folders that go onto each of my tables. And inside those folders, there is just papers filled with all different kinds of font ideas, things that hopefully they hadn't seen before, tried before, because a lot of them think about a black letter above a letter and then the regular way they write their name, and that's it, they're done. They don't know all different kinds of ways to write letters and fonts. So I try to give them some ideas as they go about doing projects like this. We try to do all different kinds of types of fonts and lettering so that they can learn how to do it. And it gives them something to look at. And when they have something to visualize, it's a little bit easier for my younger students and even for the older students. So as you guys go forth and you continue to work on this project, once you're done with the video, you may find it very helpful to go on Google. And if you just Google images with just the keyword different types of fonts, graffiti art sometimes helps, graffiti fonts. If you look up graffiti art, you'll get actual art, but if you ask for the font, you'll get all the different letters that you need depending on what your name is. So that can be very helpful to you as well. I tell them that we're going to want to get our name to stretch from the lines no matter where it is. This is also very tricky for them. As you can see, because obviously in some areas it's smaller than it is in some spots. You know, here I couldn't quite get my M to go all the way up, so you got to give them leeway. It's, you know, it is going to be a trick in some spots, especially as we're going around a curve. And get them to fill it in as best they can. If they move it, twirl it, sometimes mine are going upside down because I was spinning it around. This one I had facing downward just to give myself a little bit of a change. And so we're just going to start kind of filling it in. Our letters. I'll do my great big M and get them to do it lightly in case they run out of room for a letter. But they do want to try and get the whole word in. And the letters do look a little strange as they start stretching. That's one thing to let the student know, because as they stretch the letter, it does look highly unusual, which makes it a little fun. So I've got the first one done. And I've got room just to kind of do a little bit of a pattern behind there. That's why I did the colored pencils. You don't need heavy patterns. You don't need anything super bright, super bold. The name is what's going to definitely make this artwork. You did not brush your hair. And then the finishing product of this is just doing your line. And this one I chose a different color, but my Sharpies are limited. Yes. Oh, I got a Sharpie on my table. Look, my tummy's growling. I didn't eat breakfast. Good thing you did. And then wherever the Sharpie does not stay on is where I can erase later with watercolor marker, even give it a second.
It looks like a flower.
You're a flower. With your names, I did not outline them with the darker one. I just did them in whatever color I was coloring them in. What color should I color my name in? What color should I color that? Today, child.
Purple.
Oh, I should have known you were going to say that. That's your favorite color.
Hey, that's yours too. I'll give up the same rainbow.
No, one color. I'm going to stick with one color because they're going to have a whole bunch of colors because they're going to have their name on here many, many times. So I'm ready for that. So there is my name. I've hit one of the... Because that's their art project.
You have to color your name.
Yeah, they're drawing their name all these times. See, you were not here for most of the directions. And that's why this is a project for the big kids instead of you little ones. If you could not hit my arm while I'm coloring, though, that would be phenomenal. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one. And then you just grab your colored pencils, stick to one color in your background so that it's not super crazy. I'm just going to do a rather simplistic one. Again, I do give them sheets for patterns to kind of help them out. I try to make all kinds of examples for the students. It gets them thinking about different things, and this way I don't get a repetition of stuff all the time, and I'm looking at the same old work. And it does allow them to think and expand because they get stuck in a rut. We all do. It's, it's not that they are unable or incapable of doing it, or I don't have the faith in them. But, they get very stuck in, I'm going to draw line, 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 line. And that's just kind of the extent of their pattern making because in the classrooms, that's just what they have time for. So as they come to me and I say, well, I want a variety of patterns, and they just go, oh, okay. So it just becomes, let's change the colors and all those. And I said, no, that's not quite what I had in mind, guys. So as I give them other choices, they're like, oh, but yeah, I can do this stuff. I know you can, but we don't think of it, and that's okay. So it is okay to give them examples and things to look at as they're sitting at home working with you guys, and if they ask for things to look at. It just gives them a guide. We need guides as we make recipes. Sometimes we need to go through and look at things. We need guides and references as we work on stuff. And so it's not unusual for them to need something, even if they know it, even if they can't recall it at the time. Just pull something up so they can just quickly look at it, jog their memory, go, oh yeah, I do know how to do these things. So it'll make a much more successful artwork for them, and they'll enjoy making it a little bit more. So hopefully this keeps them busy for a few days. And until then, we will see you guys later on. Next time. Whenever next time is. All right, y'all. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.